have a simple purpose. We work with the Peace Council. Technically, we deal with those things that will back them up. And I'm here to just briefly recount how we've gotten to this point. And I'll start with the genesis of the Peace Pact. In 2008, Ghana's political landscape was predominantly shaped. Sorry, I should have said that. I would like to observe all protocols before I go on. Vice President is laughing at me, but it's corrected. Yes, thank you. In 2008, Ghana's political landscape was predominantly shaped by two major parties, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party. Their growing influence signaled the shift towards a two-party dominance in both parliament and the broader electoral arena, as well as in the executive governance space. The Peace Council was able, then formed, to use this influence to turn the volatile election atmosphere into a calm one within a short period. And that was when it started also with mutual initiative, we started engaging. The Peace Pact was born out of necessity in the lead up to the 2012 elections, that is 4 years later. Ghana faced the specter of electoral violence and political tension, despite the introduction of biometric registers for that election. But the antecedents clearly showed that we were moving towards violence. There were violent by-elections in some of the districts. A few of them I mentioned, Talensi, Etiwa, and Akwetey, among others. And there were also cases where politicians complained to us about impunity, that where these violent activities were taking place, no one was being brought to book. And that really defined the process. We found a way, together with the Peace Council Chair, then Most Reverend Emmanuel Akwetey, in a desperate situation to see how we can bring the parties together, especially the two parties. The idea was mooted that probably the convener the Peace Council can draw on was Otumfuo Tutu II. And truly he did that, and we met in Kumasi where the first Peace Pact event took place at the university. In that conversation, we couldn't tell the political differences or the sense of intolerance towards opponents. President Mahama then, he was the president of Ghana, having taken over from the late President Mills, and he spoke clearly in support of the Peace Pact, anything that would prevent violence or widespread violence in the country with people being killed. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, currently the president of Ghana, also endorsed that idea. And it is refreshing that our two leaders have been signing Peace Pact since then, 2016, 2020, and it's 2024 that Nana Addo wouldn't sign, completed his tenure of office eventually, but President Mahama also signed. With the signing, we have seen how it helps in steering candidates towards the courts and not to their militant youth. And truly, if you look at 2016 or 2012, 2013, where the court case came on, you look at 2012, we didn't have that problem, but in 2020, we also went through processes. And that the resort to court helps in preventing supporters of the two parties fighting it out in the streets. This simple idea has gained Africa-wide admiration and attention, and some countries have actually adopted it. I think Nigeria has had its own way of redevising it or designing it and to fit its context as a powerful federal system and its own institutions. But many countries are doing it now. So as we gathered here, we were looking at how we could also not just be doing Peace Pact every elections, especially presidential and parliamentary elections, the national elections. For us at IDEG, and from the disciplines we look at things, we think that our system has gradually turned into an exclusionary governance system. Many people feel they are not part of it. The two parties are strong alternate power, and yet we also see that there are many who feel their policies and the initiatives they've taken do not address the issues inclusively of everybody. But we've also been able to tell people that the two presidents and their parties, 2016 or 2017 to 2020, and now to 2024, and President Mahama and his predecessor, President Atta Mills, all decided that probably constitutional reform would pave the way for us to see how to design a more inclusive system. This has gone on for a while, and we saw progress being made after 2017, that's the 2018, when the attempt to go to the president went to Parliament for constitutional amendments to take place. The two leaders cooperated, it's well documented, but yet we couldn't go through. And this agenda is still on the table. We think it is important that this agenda is advanced. And without the two parties working together, it's going to be difficult. The Constitution itself asks for consensus to make these changes. So at this forum, we brought our two leaders together, hoping that their statements and their commitment to peace, to resolving issues at the courts, the Supreme Court, and the parliamentary level as well, where there are, or a constituency level where there are disagreements, we've seen quite a lot of reforms taking place. Both at the judiciary level, we've been witness to some of the presentations, and we've also seen how our electoral processes, the register and others, have all been subjected to critical reviews and demands. And for that matter, we have leaders of the institutions here to speak for themselves. So this meeting, we hope, would usher us in to a period of reforms that will make our system more inclusive. Post-election, we should feel that every Ghanaian feels that at the local level and at the central level, we are able to strengthen our institutions and meet the needs of our people in a sustained manner and a sustainable manner, irrespective of election outcomes. It is with this in mind that we have supported the Peace Council to convene this Peace Pact event. And we hope that the deliberations here would actually facilitate us going through a peaceful elections under the rule of law and being able to launch a new phase where unfinished business of amending our constitutions, strengthening institutions, as both parties have done and have stated in their manifestos, will come to fruition through consensus building. Of course, all depends on the outcome of the elections and who takes the lead on that.